All right, yes indeed. Hello and welcome back to the Cardback Cafe Fresh Brew, episode 2 with me, Frank.
And me, Jeff.
And that's right, we are back at it. 2 weeks in a row, Jeff. Going from strength to strength already. The naysayers would have thought we would not come back. We were going to run with our tails between our legs. But no, we're not going to be stopped. We're back here, ready to talk some toys again. How the heck's it going?
Oh, man, it can't complain, Hate to always default to the weather for the small talk, but, here in New York, good weather is hard to come by. So it's been a nice gift to have good weather. Also, made some nice pre-orders this week. So, looking forward to future things to come. But other than that, the usual grind, work and crap. But how about you?
Pretty much the same. I mean, the houseworks continue. Things have actually been moving at a fairly steady pace with all of that, so it's been exciting. There's lots of foot traffic in the house, builders, plumbers, all that sort of stuff, but it's quite nice to see stuff happening and things taking shape from the outside. I can see new sort of windows and things like that, and it's still a few weeks off till I'm able to move all this stuff upstairs, but for now, it's just cool to see it all happening, and besides that, chilling out, playing with the dogs, watching some movies, and some purchases, pre-orders, and pickups, some of that info to come later, but until then, let's remind everybody, of course, where they can keep up with all of us, and if you take a look on the screen right now, you can see our Instagram, which is The Cardback Cafe. That's where me and Jeff will post a lot of pictures of our toys, basically. I mean, that's what it's there for. Some of the stuff that we don't have a chance to talk about on the show, we drop them there.
It's our digital collection.
Yeah, exactly. And you can also head on over to YouTube, which if you're watching this right now, hopefully you're already there on the Kaiju Creative YouTube channel. There you can see episode 1 right there, and soon enough there'll be episode 2, so make sure you don't miss a single episode by subscribing, liking, following, bell notification. It's a whole thing. It's a whole to-do with these social media things, Jeff.
It is. Just so many little things, boxes to check on your way to getting content you like. But yeah, I really would appreciate views, likes, hey, even dislikes. Let us know if there's something you think we're doing wrong and want us to include in the show. We listen to everything. So
drop the comments, get the engagement going. If you like something you see, you want to know where we got it, give us a shout. And if maybe you've got some hints for us, if we talk about something comes up that you might have a little lead on, give us a little poke there on the messages, because it's always helpful. That's what this community is all about, helping each other and keeping each other informed and, I guess, in line. No one wants to step out of line. Like, we're good folk here in the toy community.
Yeah.
Right, well, it has been a big week yet again in toy news. It seems like it always is, so let's just get right to it, Jeff. We've got a lot of news to cover tonight before we get into some of our recent pickups. So let's start things off with NECA, one of our favorites here. And I think we knew this figure was coming, but I guess you'd say sort of a spin-off of the Universal Monsters. Well, not really a spin-off of Universal Monsters, but I consider it sort of along the lines being able to fit
like
in
an
with
extension of that.
We have got the ultimate Vincent Price action figure coming from NECA, and I think we have known that this was coming. But these are the first sort of proper pictures that we're seeing here, and it looks really good.
Yeah, it looks amazing. Of course, NECA always just nailing that scale and their sculpts. Loving that he's going to come with some multiple head swaps, so you can get Mr. Price through the generations. But for me, Frank, this is definitely a must-have in my collection. I mean, he is, kind of, I guess, the godfather of horror in a way. His voice transcends time and space at this point. But yeah, just a really good looking figure. And of course, look at those accessories. I might even throw him in my Munsters collection and throw some of those accessories up there. Who knows where he's going to live, but definitely going to have a spot on the shelf.
Yeah, I mean, he comes packed. It really does stretch that term ultimate, doesn't it? Because, as you say, we've got the 3 head portraits, hands, you've got the black cat, the raven, the different ties. That's an interesting one. That's a new one for NECA. These sort of interchangeable neck, not neck pieces, but just, I mean, what would you call that? Just like the tie section of the outfit.
Yeah, exactly. Which that'll be interesting too, to see how that all kind of engineering comes together and how the coat's gonna move. But it's a really fantastic looking figure.
Yeah. So let's go over a few of the details here. It releases in September. Should release in September. The pre-orders are live now. And so the 7-inch scale action figure, Darkness Falls Across the Land, the Merchant of Menace, is finally joining NECA's Ultimate line. Vincent Price appeared in more than 100 films during his lifetime. But you know what? This is his first action figure, and we are all looking forward to it. Comes in a collector-friendly Ultimate 5-panel window box, the kind of packaging we always get with the Ultimates line. And soon we'll have the TINGLER on our shelves.
Yes, that's right.
I'm trying to think where we could go after this. I mean, what other sort of, I don't know, like figures of
Orson
horror
Welles?
like this? Yeah? I mean, that's it. Are we just going to start getting like figures of just actors and directors and things like that?
Pretty soon we'll have the whole Cannonball Run cast, Dom DeLuise and Jerry Lewis.
I mean,
who knows where it goes.
If anyone's going to do it, it's NECA. They've got the leeway to be able to do that. That's why, there's not many toy companies, or maybe there are nowadays, like the landscape has changed, but it feels like there's not many companies out there who could get away with making a Vincent Price highly articulated adult focused action figure. Like, if you told me that 5 years ago that was going to come out, I would have slapped you. I would have slapped the stranger that came up to me and said, they're going to make a Vincent Price figure. Get out of here, you're crazy.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just awesome to see how far we've come, in this action figure hobby. And we've gotten a lot of the hits out of the way, and now we're getting really deep cuts, and it's pretty awesome to see.
Right, well, looking forward to that come September, but let's move on. Obviously, last week, when it came to the 3Ps, we talked, mine at least, was the recent delivery of the Figure Arts Kaiju number 8. And this week, they dropped some new information, that is, Bandai dropped some new information on some upcoming pre-orders for some more figures in that line. So the first one here is going to be the Shinomiya Kikoro. I've probably butchered that, as I do tend to do. But she in the show is one of the great lead characters. Feisty, super confident, super powerful, and look at this axe she comes with.
Wielding that massive axe, yeah.
Yeah, just a great. I was sort of, when they revealed the other figures, the ones that are on their way now, she was one that I thought was like a massive miss, as in, like, how could they not put her in one of the first figures? So I'm glad to see that she is coming before too long. And she will also come with an included extra headpiece, one of the face plates for Kaiju number 8. So the one that I have came with multiple ones. Remember, I showed it off last week. And this will be a new one, which it's always great when these companies add in little pieces to add to the other figures. Yeah, it's a really good little feature there when companies do that. But it looks like a super fun line and a super fun show. It's something I'm definitely gonna have to check out, because once you get the combination of cool word of mouth for a show, and then now it's getting a toy line, I mean that just really strikes the impulse nerve, and like, now I got to check it out. And so, now they're going fairly deep, because you've got the main character, and they're filling out the ranks of quite a motley crew, which is there. And they also, again, Bandai revealed another character coming from the show, and that is the first antagonist, who has just sort of made his grand debut in the most recent episode, and that's Kaiju number 9. And this character just has such a crazy look that I love it. And in the last episode of the show, he sort of shows off his skills and abilities, and it's wild. And again, just comes with additional arms to put on the back, because at some point he just grows some extra limbs. Has all these crazy effects pieces for when he sort of shoots out these energy blasts from his hands and his fingers. Comes with, like different faces and everything. Great. And then, just like the other one, comes with an additional faceplate for the Kaiju number 8, which has the sort of energy seeping out of the eyes. So, just the complete package.
Yeah, a nice little trio here to start things off. Yeah, this is one of those figures too that I'm looking at. It's like, it's just a really cool design. So even if you know or don't know where it comes from, it's still cool. I'm getting a lot of horror and sci-fi vibes from it. A little bit of maybe Resident Evil.
Yeah, it's gonna say a bit like Del Toro, like a little Guillermo del Toro would love it.
Exactly. That's the perfect way. Yeah, all those genres I just said, he's the perfect guy to blend all those genres. Del Toro. It's very Del Toro.
So both those figures, like I said, will be going up on pre-order June 3rd. So the Shinomiya figure will be 8,800 yen. Who knows what the conversion rate is? It's always changing. And the Kaiju number 9 is 9,900 yen. And they will be dropping, I believe, a month apart later in the year. I'll have to check. Yeah. It's sort of the info. Sometimes I just don't have all the info ready.
They're going up, though, you said, places like Ami Ami and
Ami Ami, Nin Nin Game. Nice. Yeah. Like, that's where I'll hopefully get them. Yeah. I've been... So the second figure in the wave, I have ordered, but for some reason the shipping's taking a while, and then the third figure, which drops next month, is sort of sold out everywhere, so I need to try to find a site that is going to be selling her, because I think... Yeah. I mean, if they're just going to keep dropping one every month or two, I don't want to get too far behind, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And I prefer going to sites like Ami Ami now for imports, because you get it so much faster than actually going through like your Big Bads and Entertainment Earths, which those are perfectly fine too, but it always prices out the same. But yeah, let me know if you're having some trouble tracking her down on your side of things. You know, she might be easier to attain over here. So
yes,
do you a solid.
And that, again, that's the toy community, helping each other out. So let's stick with, I guess, we'll call them imports, but a bit less official this time, because we just want to do a quick little roundup of some third-party figs which have sort of recently been revealed or have gone up for pre-order or will be shipping soon. Just because, you know, when we had the podcast back in the day, it feels weird to say back in the day, it wasn't too long ago. But
the world changed a lot, though.
The world did change. So we used to talk about third-party figures quite a lot. I've got a few. I think you've got a few. We've dabbled. They've all these companies have stepped up their game. Like, some of the unofficial figures that they're coming out with are really tempting nowadays. So we're just gonna flick through a few of them right now, starting with the Topo Studio 1/6 scale Drug Lord. And now, who could this be? I don't know. Right. I don't know who this... I mean, he seems like an interesting character. Drug Lord.
Drug Lord.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of looks like, your average guy turned maybe bad or something. I don't know.
Almost like he's broken or something here.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
So... this one, obviously, we've got a little, we'll say a Walter White homage here. And you can get a few different looks. So he comes with the sort of 3 different head sculpts there. You've got sort of start of the show, Walter White. You've got middle of the show, Walter White. And then I'd say you've got your Heisenberg down there as well.
Yeah.
And it does really just look really, like those face sculpts. The head sculpts, even.
Some of the things now
are crazy.
With the third party, the sculpts are really dialed in, and even the quality on the soft goods now has gotten so much better to where it's not just your Hot Toys are the big game in town or that do it the best. But this is interesting. This is the first I've actually heard of this third party company, so it's really cool to see kind of how really good this looks. And then, you've got the other companies like Saturn Toys is doing some really great things in the scale. So yeah, this for huge fans of the show like ourselves, this could definitely does draw my attention, and could get me to open the wallet.
Well, if you do open the wallet, it is gonna be a bit hefty because the deposit, at least on Toys Metaverse here, deposit is $50 US, with the full price coming in at $260 US. So I think that's including the deposit. With this shipping about $10 to $20. So, in line with what a Hot Toys would cost, but definitely, a company to keep an eye on here. Comes with a lot of stuff. 3 head sculpts, a jacket, 3 shirts, 1 set of pants, 2 shoes, a belt, different hands, sunglasses, glasses, mobile phone, pistol, his blue meth, of course, leather bag, the old hat, the classic hat, the wooden base stand. Fattening clothing, I like that. I could do a bit less of that in real life, some of the fattening clothing. But yeah, it looks like a complete package here, so if you are a fan of the show, definitely one to keep an eye on. But that's not all we've got. We've got some more third-party goodness here with the J&B Toys Interstellar Ranger, 1/12 scale here. And gotta say, I don't know who this Interstellar Ranger character is, but he's looking mighty tempting.
Mighty familiar, mighty tempting, but it's just, as we were just talking about, a lot of these third parties now are finally getting it dialed in with the sculpts and the soft goods, and this is no different. And another actor whose face can be a little tricky to capture at times, but it looks like they've done a really good job here. Yeah,
and again, in that 1/12 scale, which when I first saw pictures of this pop up, I assumed it was 1/6, which was sort of not really a 1/6 collector. I've got 1 or 2, but I've always wanted a really great Luke Skywalker, and this could be it.
Oh, okay, yeah, I thought he was 1/6.
Yeah. So up here we're on Gundammit right now, listed as 1/12. Okay, he's got a bit of a hefty price. It's $127.99 with an $8 deposit, but he includes 2 head sculpts, body, combat suit, belt, leather boots, cloak, interstellar gun, sword handler. I like how they're saying sword handle, but then they just go out and say 2 lightsaber special effects. So they're, you've got your baby transparent special effects piece, your so baby, we all know who the baby is.
Single sculpt, but that's cool.
And then you've even got the busted up Dark Trooper thing from that episode of them. What's great about this is obviously, it's more based on The Mandalorian, but with that outfit and everything, it can work easily as a classic Luke Skywalker as well. Yeah. So I am tempted. It's one of those things I'd like to wait to see what people get in hand, but at the same time, if I wait, will it be gone?
Will it be gone, or that creep up in price on if it shows up somewhere else? These are the hardened questions that we must ask ourselves on a daily basis.
Yeah. But let's go even deeper third party with the Bro Toys, another 1/12 figure here coming. And we've got 2 versions of Jim Carrey's The Mask available at probably all these websites, but we're taking a look at it on 5K Toys at the minute. And, again, with it being 1/12 scale, obviously there was that yellow suited version of The Mask, which came out seems like a while ago now, and I don't recall if it was Bro Toys or if the company have changed their name, because they look like they were the same sort of design, like the head sculpts and everything are similar, so I would imagine it's the same company, which a lot of these third parties, they change their name basically every few weeks or months to keep various companies' legal teams at bay.
Dodging the spotlight.
Yeah. But we've got 2 versions here, the LR009A and the LR009B. So we've got the black pinstripe suit and the what would you call that outfit there? What, I forget what it was in the movie, just like a blackjack dealer or something?
Yeah, he looks more like a blackjack dealer, or a banker, or something. Yeah.
Oh yeah, wasn't that when he had the visor on and was just like doing like the banking? Oh yeah, he's got the piggy bank there. But again, just I was tempted by the yellow suited mask, and I think if I was gonna get any version of it, it would have to be that version. But that version's also, I don't think, available anymore. So these two do look good. But
yeah, and I can't remember what accessories the first one came with, but I do really love kind of everything they're packing into these.
The big gun hands here look great.
That's iconic too, just from that movie in general. That's like the one thing that always stands out in everyone's mind: the big gun hands that he draws.
The draw, and it even comes with like the table from the nightclub. Yeah, the big guns. You've got your little. But there you go. Those are available now. And one more quick one to jump into here, which I thought was interesting, and will lead us into our next topic, is the Dragon Toys 1/6 scale. I want to get this name right. Freeze Light Years Mr. Zero. So, who could...
Can only be one person.
Who could this be? I love that the image is just the suit. So, we can see here, the Dragon Toys 1/6 scale includes the main figure, 2 pairs of exchangeable hands, a luminous helmet with LED, frozen armor, backpack wings, freezing gun. And so here are the pictures. Of course, we all know who we're talking about here. From probably the best Batman movie, is that what we're saying?
Definitely number one.
Number one. So a lot of these pictures are the suit and the body, though these pictures do have the head sculpt, so I don't know.
What are we going to get?
Yeah, does this come with the head? Or do you have to buy a Schwarzenegger head somewhere else? Or separately, maybe?
It's going to be like a supernatural toy. It's just going to be a hologram this whole time. But yeah, I was wondering that too, looking at this. I'm like, okay, I see the suit.
Yeah.
And then you scroll down, you're like, okay, obviously it's got to have the heads.
Oh yeah, I guess this picture shows the sort of traditional loadout, and it does show the head sculpt in it, so...
It's like one of those Instagram things. They didn't number the pictures correctly when they uploaded them. They're like, I made the head picture number 4, not number 1.
It's pretty crazy, like, because obviously Hot Toys officially have had a couple of... What did the Hot Toys do? Batman Forever. They haven't done Batman and Robin. Yeah. But...
No, yeah.
I mean, a lot of companies are dabbling in Batman and Robin. Obviously, McFarlane did the Batman and Robin wave of figures.
Yep.
So maybe there's some Hot Toys coming along the way that this could fit in. But you got to imagine if Hot Toys did dabble with Batman and Robin, they'd probably do their own.
I'm sure. Yeah, it would. It would be awesome. It would cost a small fortune, but it would totally be awesome. But this is cool. I mean, this looks. At least by their pictures, obviously it's another thing. Like, what's it going to look like in hand? What is that kind of soft good material under the sculpted plating gonna be? But I mean, it looks really good. And it's just kind of funny how, this movie is 25, almost 30 years old now, and we're coming back around on it. And it's one of those things, though. We joke about it, like, oh, number 1 Batman movie, and it's obviously not. But toy line, it's right up there.
Yeah.
You give me this versus the Batman, and I'm going this all day long. So it's cool to see that more companies are kind of expanding on that line.
Yeah, I mean, there's one thing about those Schumacher films is that they're very toyetic, as we know.
Yeah.
And so it's quite nice to see that, like, McFarlane dabbled with Batman and Robin, Hot Toys dabbling with Batman Forever, and, there'll probably be some more Batman news coming up here very shortly, because sticking with DC, we've got to go and talk about the Todd Father himself, Toddy Mac, DC Multiverse. I forget if we actually showed off the blurry screen cap of this. We might have held back on it because the images weren't the best last week, but we finally have official images of the Multiverse Megafig DC Classic Dark Side. and this looks great. I'll be honest. It's a very exciting figure to drop. It's gonna ship. It's just around the corner, really. August 2024. It's gonna be $49.99. And I mean, what is there to say? I mean, just look at this thing.
Yeah. What more can you ask for? It's a big beefy boy, pretty accurate to the source material and kind of the look that you would want out of him. And I gotta say, I have one figure. Yeah, one figure from McFarlane right now with a wired cape. And they're really well done. He's kind of not him. I said it last week. The team over there at McFarlane Toys.
Yeah.
Although I would like to see McFarlane, actually sewing these and painting these himself. But yeah, those wired capes are really well done. So
which fig do you have that has the wired cape?
I went in on the Cassandra Cain, so right. I was kind of dabbling around with that figure. So yeah, I've really having fun with that cape. And for the price point, you can't beat it. But yeah, unfortunately, I'd love to go in on this dark side, but I believe he's currently sold out everywhere. So I'm going to have to wait my turn on hopefully a rebound stock, which normally comes from him. Yeah.
It's amazing how I don't think there's a mainline toy series or creator company that catches quite as much flack as McFarlane. Yet he's keeping the price down, he's putting out constant product, and a lot of it does just go in an instant.
Yeah, it sells really fast, and we'll see one of the reasons why in the next thing we talk about. Yep. But he is so good at marketing these toys. A lot of these toys I buy are just based on face value. I go, oh, that's cool. It's not even a character I know. But I will say, to his credit, obviously, there's issues with scaling and sculpt, and it's a little bit all over the place. But for the most part, you normally get a really good sculpt out of these figures. And they, I said it last week, I'll say it again, they really lend themselves to, people like me that like to customize characters, maybe Frankenstein and build your own kind of version of your ideal character. And this line really lends itself well to do that. It's easy to take them apart. It's easy to paint them, and a little paint goes a long way on these figures. So, yeah, I mean, I could sacrifice a little paint if it keeps that price down,
Well, moving on to the next set, and I think we're on the same page here. Now, these figures were revealed, I want to say, was it Comic-Con last year, or was it later? Was it Toy Fair?
Might have been. I think it was Toy Fair
this year. And we saw renders of these, and again, going off of what we were talking about with Batman and Robin and Batman Forever, obviously these were revealed a bit ago, and we've seen a version of one of these figures in person because of the Batman set that he put out not too long ago. But finally, we've got pictures of the wave of Batman Forever.
Oh yeah. And
these we talked about just before sort of hitting record today. I completely forgot these were announced because they were just renders, and the renders are cool, but until you actually see an image like this, it's really hard to get super excited. And when this image dropped, I lit up like a Christmas tree. I'm so excited for this wave.
This is literally one of those iconic movie posters from childhood that's just burned in like the top 5. At a time, I think I was 10 years old when this came out, so it was like the height of my Bat mania. But yeah, this is the one, just hits all the marks. I love the original toy line. I had all these toys that I gotta say, is over the top as it is, this is one of, if not my favorite, like Two-Face design of all time. It's just absolutely crazy. It marries that perfect, like, kind of coming out of that Burton era, but also that 66 era together. It just, I mean, what else can you say? It speaks for itself, but it goes back to what I was saying. Like, he is the king of marketing. You see a picture like this, take my money.
Yeah, the sculpts and the paint, everything just looks amazing. Like, it's killer. This is a knockout wave of figures, and again, looking forward to seeing like the press shots and just standing head to toe, seeing what accessories they come with. But
hopefully they're not all daddy long legs.
That's always the one fear is like, are they gonna have
Carrey's.
It's either daddy long legs or gorilla arms. There's maybe like 15% of the figures that actually have the proportions like 100% nailed in.
As I said, it's one of those lines that lends itself to being so customizable with other pieces, and sometimes I wonder if Todd's just like, yeah, these will work on this torso. Let's go for it.
I mean, I'm just hoping I know that the basic figs don't normally come with loads of accessories, but you could definitely, I mean, at least, right, we see the Riddler's cane. I think we can see like a coin flipping hand on Two-Face. I'm going to assume Batman and Robin probably come with a batarang, something like that.
Yeah. It is going to be a bummer that Two-Face won't come with his gun that he had in the movie, and that original toy had sculpted in the hand. I know there's third-party packs, but it's just so much easier when it actually comes with it. But
I also always loved the coin that came with that original figure.
Oh yeah, I still have that coin somewhere. It's not out currently, but I do. I've hung on to it.
It's a good piece, that coin. Like, that was almost like, it was like having a movie prop as a kid.
Yeah, it was like real merch from a movie.
And I remember walking around the house flipping that thing for weeks.
Oh yeah, I decided a lot of things with that coin. A lot of stupid things. Will I have the red fruit roll-up or the blue one?
So the Batman Forever Build-A-Wave, and again, in the background of that picture, you can see the Build-A-Figure, which is the Nightmare Bat from there.
Which, folks, Frank called, too, back in... yeah, that was your build. Because I'm like, you're asking me, and I'm like, I don't know, the Bank Vault? Chase Meridian, maybe? I don't know. And you're like, I'm thinking maybe the Big Bat. And, yeah.
He made the right choice. I mean, although...
I think so, too.
When are we going to get an Alfred Go... Alfred?
Yeah, because Mattel did one, so I would assume that
Michael Go, not Alfred.
Michael Go, yeah, Alfred Go. Yeah.
No, they did. They cast him really well. Cast an Alfred as an Alfred. Yeah, Michael Go Alfred.
Could only play Alfreds. But yeah, I would assume that. Well, I don't want to assume with Todd, but yeah, but that's something I think is reasonable. Yeah. Because Mattel did do a take on him, so
maybe they'll do, I guess, like the 66. Did they do an Alfred in one of the new waves, or did Alfred come with a car or a playset or something?
They finally did him as a single release, which I did pre-order, because prior to that they did Alfred but in the Bat costume.
Yes.
So it was like, okay, you've done the sculpts, like, when are we gonna get Alfred? So
maybe he could fit into, if they do Returns next, if they do Returns Wave, because obviously you've got Batman, Catwoman, Penguin. Do you put like an Alfred as a main figure there, and then build a goon, or do you do the opposite? Do you put like one of the clown characters and then a build an Alfred?
Or the big he could also push that big duck vehicle for Penguin.
Oh god,
there's some options there.
I mean,
that's a movie too that hasn't gotten nearly enough merch.
Unless you want to go high end
really,
with the Hot Toys stuff, which is just so expensive now.
And I love that return suit. I've always loved the updated, more armored look. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I hope that that's just a matter of time as well.
I'm gonna try to find this because we talked about we've already jumped to the third party. We've come over here, but actually this popped up earlier. I forgot to add it to the list, so making a change on the fly here to chuck it in here. But Eternal Toys, another third party, jumping off of Batman Returns, has sort of shown off the 1/6 scale Cat Lady. Now, for $149 dues, this is, if Hot Toys isn't gonna do it, we got this company here. And it's not a bad looking Catwoman, is it?
No, it looks pretty accurate to me, and this is what I love about these these third-party companies. They're just, but outside of you could either get high-end Hot Toys stuff or what NECA released, and those things are 4 feet tall, so it's kind of like
and nearly as expensive.
Oh my god, yeah.
That cat lady will go really well with. I mean, it's annoying now because it's sold out, but they did do a penguin not too long ago, which was pretty amazing looking as well.
Yeah, Danny DeVito just has one of those features in general that are probably easy and fun to sculpt, and look at that guy. Look at that. Just one of the best penguin looks of all time, if not the best.
There's so much Batman going around right now that it almost feels like an afterthought, this next bit of news. But again, sticking with McFarlane, we are seeing a wave 2 of the New Adventures sort of DC Direct re-releases, which, it's a line of figures that I regretted missing out on the first time when DC Direct released them. And with the recent Wave 1, I did get the Batman and Two-Face figures. But Wave 2 is a pretty good one because it is going to include Catwoman, Nightwing, the Bane, and the Joker, which I know the New Adventures redesigns are divisive amongst fans. I personally, I loved the New Adventures. I liked the sort of, I guess you'd simplified take, but it almost led into what would become Batman Begins. Batman Beyond. Like, it was an evolution of the style from Batman the Animated Series, and I just remember liking a lot, at least at the time, being a kid. I don't know, maybe it was like a short attention span or something, but I remember liking a lot more New Adventure episodes than I did Batman the Animated Series, and this Joker, and especially this Bane had a lot to do in the new Batman Adventures, so I'm looking forward to getting at least the Bane and Joker, probably the Catwoman. The Catwoman redesign is a bit, it's not the best. I don't know why she's got blue skin, but it's Todd, re-releasing the DC Direct stuff, and I'm looking forward to it. I don't know what else to say. I know it's not the most exciting news to a lot of people out there, but I do like the fact that he's making these harder to get figures available again.
Exactly. And you just nailed it. These figures had been around during some of the lean years as a collector, so I was always, admiring them from afar, not able to pick them up. So it's always good to get that second opportunity. I also have a couple that he's released from this wave, and these are right in the wheelhouse. So if I'm out and about and I see them, would definitely pick them up. And
especially in that $20 price point as well.
Exactly, and I actually at Target that from McFarlane, New Adventures stuff, or some of the DC Direct. I often see those like hanging on the pegs at Target. So I think I may have a pretty good shot at actually get these out in the wild.
I think I just saw something today. I mean, it's probably not going to be relevant when people are watching this, but I think the first wave, again, the one that came with Batman, Two-Face, and that has been found on discount at Target recently, like maybe $17.99 as opposed to $25.
It's weird. I don't know if he overstocks this, sends more thinking that, there's going to be a little bit more demand for it, or if it's just not as much demand for it. But I tend to see even the animated series line, the build a figure, those. And I think it's a lot to do with the cell shading on those as well. Yeah. But those pegs are stuffed, like 4 deep of each character. You pick your poison. So, but the day I decide, like, you know what, I'm just gonna get them, gone.
I am. The other good thing is I've come so close to, when it's gone on sale here and they're buying that Mafex version of the New Adventures Joker and the New Adventures Batman as well. So
Yeah.
But, because of the style and stuff, I don't need them super articulated. And, I mean, the detail, again, because of the simplified design from McFarlane to Mafex, actually isn't night and day. So instead of spending probably $150 on Batman and Joker, I'll get away with spending $40 on two versions that will bring me just as much joy.
Exactly.
All right. Getting towards the end of the news now, but still some big stuff here. Last week we talked about Spin Master. We saw pictures of the Aloy figure from their PlayStation line, and this week we have got some placeholder art and prices on Amazon revealing some of the other figures coming up. And again, we talked about the rumors, and it sort of lines up with a lot of them, but just seeing these placeholders is pretty exciting. So, and the price point as well, learning a bit about the price point here. And it looks like the single pack figures are going to run $29.99, which, again, $30 for the prototype, or not even the prototype. It looked like production, that Aloy figure last week. If that's what these are across the board, $30 is a steal.
Yeah, exactly. Again, and it piggybacks on what we were saying, last week about kind of some of these newer companies now starting to really make a name for themselves, and pricing things at a fair, affordable price.
Yeah.
Really cool to see.
So we've got the confirmations here. Now, again, placeholder images, so these are just images from the game. Also, probably placeholder release dates. They're all saying sort of September. Maybe not. Maybe these actually will drop in September, August, and November if we're already seeing pictures of some of the figures. But we've got Jin Sakai from Ghost of Tsushima, and $30 for that. Yep, can't wait. We got Atreus and Kratos, so not just Kratos, but Atreus as well from God of War, which is going to be very exciting. The Joel and Ellie 2-pack for $50. I can't, these are all basically, like we said last week, basically everything's here is a must purchase. The Aloy is $50 listed on here. I find that interesting because maybe from what we saw those pictures last week, it did look like it came with a lot of stuff, a lot of head sculpts, a lot of accessories. Maybe that is some form of a deluxe, or maybe it comes with something else that we didn't see pictured, because the other figures, the other single releases being $30, it just seems like, I don't know, why is there that discrepancy here? So Praeternia over on Twitter, who always has all the latest news and pictures, and literally the source that I think everybody turns to online, has got some info here. So additional info. I love info. So the 2-pack Joel and Ellie bring the iconic duo to life, each figure meticulously crafted with over 190 unique finishes, 30 plus points of articulation, 19 accessories including a revolver, shotgun, machete. I mean, they're not doing the Hasbro or McFarlane thing. They're going balls to the wall here.
Another advantage of these companies, yeah.
So 2 figures, 19 accessories there for the Joel and Ellie. Kratos figure, 31 points of articulation. He's going to come with 5 essential accessories, including the Leviathan Axe, Blades of Chaos, Guardian Shield, 2 extra sets of hands, ready for any challenge. What else do we have here? The Atreus, 33 points of articulation, comes with his bow and arrow. So, I mean, they sound like they come with everything you can want. The Jin Sakai, what's he going to come with? Katana and sheath, fearsome samurai mask. $30. Just show me what they look like. Just show me if they look half as good as that Aloy figure that we looked at last week. I am down for several of these easily.
Yeah. Again, at that price point, these properties, it's kind of a win-win. So, we'll see how this develops.
At this rate, I would imagine with how fast Toy News moves, either there'll be official images before this comes out, or there'll be official images just after. I'm sure we're not going to have to wait long. And one last bit of news, I did just chuck it in at the end here. We've known for a while here that Jakks was going to be working on The Simpsons. And, I've been tempted by a couple of those Super 7 Ultimates. Like, I think, hopefully, if they're still available next time I come to the States, I want to try to get my hand on a Kang/Kodos, because they look amazing, but for what they cost to get over here, it's almost worth me wait until I get to America to buy one and just take up a load of real estate in my suitcase, because I'll end up saving like $40 or $50, it seems.
Yeah.
But obviously, that line's going on hold or done for good, and Jakks is going to be handling The Simpsons for at least the near future with a few different scales. And I think what a lot of collectors out there have been waiting to see is their bigger scale ones, the ones that are more adult focused. And we finally have a look thanks to a cross-sell from one of the smaller scales. So it was a cross-sell from a Simpsons playset from, I think, 2-inch line, but on the cross-sell we can actually see images from the 5-inch line, and potentially this being the first wave here, with a Homer, Bart, Otto, and groundskeeper Willie. And you know what? If these are... It depends on the price, but if these are sort of $15, 20's probably pushing it, but if these were to be $15, I could see myself going all in on Simpsons, because I think there's the looks there. It's The Simpsons. It's hard to mess up, to overcomplicate.
Exactly.
Couple accessories, nice selection of characters.
That's a perfect wave. I would definitely go in on this wave if they are in that kind of $12.99 to even $14.99 range. It's the perfect This is the wheelhouse for Jakks. Making properties like this. We've seen them do a great job with the Mario line. Obviously, you picked up one of their Pokemon not too long ago. Just really well sculpted, simple, straight to the point, but really don't need anything else going on with these. So, yeah, it's going to come down, as you said, to that price point, but could definitely start an official Simpsons collection here at the Cardback Cafe.
That is one that could go deep. Like, I always see people with their World of Springfield collections, and
oh my god, yeah.
I've got like one or two random ones that I've found on the cheap. Yeah. I've got one. I think one of the ones NECA did a long time ago. Like, I've got like a Millhouse's Fallout Boy. But it would be great to, like I said, if Super 7 have released a few that I want, but at the Ultimate's price point, I don't think they're necessarily worth it. Whereas I look at these again, classic looks for the characters, which we didn't get from the Ultimates line, and not overly complicated. I mean, I don't need 10 sets of hands and 4 different head sculpts and that.
Right. No, it's simple, to the point, and hey, if you could pick up a wave for the price of what it could cost for one Super 7, I mean, it's just kind of where we're at in the times, I think we're definitely collectors getting more interested in kind of going back in that direction a little bit. So yeah, this is cool. I hope that I think it'll be within that price point, and 2, because it's Jakks and it's kind of walks that line between adult collectors and kids. I think we'll have a better chance of seeing a lot more of these on the shelves and having the opportunity to actually buy them in stores, which is cool, because I see a ton of those Mario stuff, figures.
Yeah, the Mario things they do are very popular. I've come close to trying to dip my toe in, but I wanted to. There's been times when I wanted to get all the Koopa Kids, but some of the older ones are so much money now. Yeah. Like, they get snapped up. All right, one more bit of news. It's been a very heavy news week, but we couldn't go a week without talking about the Ninja Turtles, could we? It's impossible in the current landscape of toy news.
The cornerstone.
And we've got a new line, I'm guessing, from a company who we probably didn't expect here, but JoyToy have announced that coming soon will be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Everyone's doing it. Let's throw JoyToy in there. Jeff, you familiar too much with what JoyToy does?
I'm actually not all that familiar, or maybe I am and just don't know it.
So I think the way that JoyToy started, again, and drop the comments below, correct us if we're wrong, because some of the stuff we don't really know about. Like, JoyToy is a bit of a blank spot. I think back in the day, again, an overseas company, they did sort of, I forget if they're, I guess, unlicensed sort of mechs and army characters, sort of all in a variety of scales, but a lot of it in like the 1/18th scale. So sort of G.I. Joe sized figures, but would come with mechs some would transform. Sometimes you could put the pilots in the mechs. I think I have a JoyToy figure somewhere, which is like a motorcycle that could change into a mech, and he's a pretty cool toy, like well put together, nice detail, smaller scale. They have since gotten quite big because they do a lot of Warhammer figures. So a lot of 1/18th scale Warhammer figures, really like heavily articulated, super detailed, great paint for again being smaller scale. And apparently this new Ninja Turtles line has been confirmed to be 1/18th scale, which is something we don't see. It's, it's new for Turtles collectors. Yeah. So, there's so many 6 and 7 inch options out there now, larger scale options as well. Maybe this is something that could be fresh. Maybe it's something, I know a lot of people are joking online that, right, every company does it. Why do we need another one? Like, it seems like people finally hit that point where maybe this is too much Ninja Turtles, but I could always be tempted, especially I do like occasionally dipping into that smaller scale.
Yeah, I mean, whether there may be some truth to that. A lot of companies seem to be making their own turtle team, but hey, I still come back, I still check everything out, and if I like it, I buy it. So I still like having those options, personally as a collector. It is an interesting scale. As you said, I personally don't know much about this company in general. Mm-hmm. But we'll have to see. We only have just kind of those silhouettes to look at right now, and it's kind of like, is that going to be the shape of them? Like, is it going to be a certain take on any particular team? Is it going to be something new, like kind of like what they're doing with the spring, fall, summer? That line, is that Fury Toys or Fury Toys? I forget.
I think it changes with them every few weeks.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Okay, so it's morphed, but yeah. So yeah, it'll be cool to see how this kind of develops. And hey, power to them. If it takes off and it's cool, then maybe they can expand. Yeah, and just keep growing.
I mean, it's fun because whenever I think of like smaller scale figures, I think, oh, maybe, hopefully potentially cheaper. But just to give you an idea, bringing up the JoyToy website here. So here's some of their Warhammer figures they've done, and they do a lot. They get quite expansive. Now the website won't load, just for fun.
Well, that's how it goes. JoyToy's not doing themselves any favors, trying to put them over.
Trying to show you guys, show everybody. So, I mean, look, $52, but you can get an idea. Again, smaller scale, but really, like, the detail and the paintwork speaks for itself. And just to show, I think they also have, so that's some of the Warhammer stuff. And again, if you shop around online, there's a lot of JoyToy stuff on Amazon. Dark Source. So I do actually have some of these. Like you can see, here's a mech with a rider. This little guy here, who's like sort of a Mad Max style character. I think I actually have this somewhere.
Like a Mad Max Borderlands kind of guy.
Yeah, it's got that vibe. But yeah, again, that size. Really cool, really highly detailed, great like articulation. So we'll see if we're gonna go along that lines with the Turtles. I mean, even this guy, he's $35, and again, pretty small figure, not a lot of accessories, but you're sort of you're paying for paint here. It seems for the most part, because the detail is quite well done. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with Turtles.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm sure hopefully they'll just reveal more. Comic-Con's coming up. I don't know if that'll be the place, but it's going to be a place. It's going to be a buffet of stuff. But yeah, it's cool. Hey, listen, there's worse lines to exhaust to ad nauseam.
Exactly.
I'm happy to have Turtles kind of take that one for the team.
And at some point, we complain that, God, there's so much Turtles out there. At some point, there won't be. Yeah. At some point, they will stop.
Exactly.
They have to stop. And then people will yearn for the time. They're like, I really miss the days when every time you went into a shop, there was about 1 million different Ninja Turtles figures.
Exactly. And being its 40-year anniversary, we're only going to see more of it, at least up until the end of this year. So
and then they'll start gearing up for the 50th.
Right. Yeah, I know. But hey, you know what? Look at it this way, as a collector. It's the one toy that's transcended our entire lives. It's been there since day one. I'll be happy, hopefully living a long life to 100, but still buying Turtle stuff, Turtle merch. So, I want the Turtles around, hopefully, for a little bit longer.
Yeah, because we did have many dark days there where they went away. And it felt like they were never
That 2003 series really set them back for a little bit. They had to recover.
Let's just have a quick little live on the fly. Just going to take a look, make sure we're not missing anything. There's not been any late breaking news here. No, seems good. Right, I think, let's just move on because there was a lot of news this week. So let's jump right into our purchases, pre-orders, and pickups. The 3 Ps, Jeff. It's happening again.
As it always is.
As it always is, because it never stops. So again, like we said last week, it's our purchases, pre-orders, and pickups. Each of us are going to spotlight one of those this week. So Jeff, hit me. What you've got to show to bring to the table this week?
Yeah, so kind of a slow mail week for me, so I don't have any pickups as it stands today. Of course, I will tomorrow. I think I'm going to have like 3 or 4 coming in, but I'll go with a pre-order, and we talked about it here at the top of the news. That Vincent Price. I mean, just as soon as I saw him available, pre-ordered him. I pre-ordered him from Big Bad Toy Store. So, maybe I'll see him in September, maybe I'll see him in March, but either way, I'll see him eventually. But I mean, what can you say? Great accessories that can, go into different little displays that I have. Yep. You've got all the different generations of Mr. Price here. And just, my wife hates it, but around the holiday season, like, toys come out of the toy room and go about the house, so he's definitely going to be leading the Halloween display this year. Probably in the living room.
But how will he be aging throughout the holiday season?
That's a good thing. Maybe we could play like Elf on a Shelf, and we'll play like Aging Vincent, and like each day he ages a little bit more. And that's the thing. I haven't decided like what version I'll display, but because I like them all, really. He was just crazy in every decade he was working. So I'm excited for him, and just as we said, it's one you just never thought you were going to get, and here he is. It's manifested, and it's real, and it's coming, and I can't wait.
Very exciting, and like we said, when's he's meant to come out right at the perfect time, October ship date. So
carving pumpkins and opening up Vincent Price.
Ooh, something to look forward to then with Vincent.
Maybe some Simpsons Halloween characters from Jakks at that point. You never know. Some Treehouse of Horror.
I mean, like that's what if. Considering what they've done with Nintendo, I am hoping it goes quite deep, and we can get some really good Treehouse of Horror stuff out of them. It'll be good. It'll be good. And Vincent Price could tie in because he featured in an episode. So
right.
Something you could tie him into the Simpsons universe.
Right.
I am going to go with, I guess we're calling it a pickup because it came in the mail. It's something I've had ordered for a bit. It's one of those pre-orders that got lost in the shuffle because it was a company who I've never ordered from before, a company who's made some toys that I've been interested in for a while, but I ordered from the company direct, and so let's go to the old spotlight camera again, and it's gonna be, here we go, there he is. So this is I'll bring the box in here, the Devil Toys FX01 Foxhound, and he's sort of like, like a Mezco, like a 1/12 fig. So he's got the real cloth goods on. Just a neat sort of cyberpunky figure.
Yeah.
He's got the cool sort of helmet on, the mask. He's got his weapons here, and the two swords that he's got can join together and sort of make a bow, like a futuristic bow and arrow. Quite posable, like great detail for such a small fig. And JoyToy have done a line of these. Not JoyToy. We've already given JoyToy their time in the sun. Devil Toys. They have been doing a lot of these in 1/6 scale for a while now, but they've now started to do them in 1/12 scale, which is obviously more up my alley. So ordered this one not too long ago, but it did take a bit longer to be released than I think the company was expecting. But yeah, just good. I'll awesome. At some point I'll settle a way to be able to manipulate the figures a bit better on camera, but you get the idea.
Oh yeah, and it's not from anything. It's like its own original design.
Yes, yeah. So it's its own original thing. I mean, let's bring up the old Devil Toys. So I think
I'll be shopping that site a little bit later today. I mean, I really love stuff like that.
Yeah, I stumbled upon them not too long ago on just on Instagram, I think. So I started following them.
Yeah, and
they do sort of like art toys, I guess, but they're 1/12, not super cheap. So these two just dropped the FX01, which I've got, and the Magnum 1/12. Now that I've got this one, I do sort of want to get the Magnum 1/12 because he actually looks really cool as well. I love the orange color scheme, the sort of tattered cape. They're just really cool figs. Again, a bit on the pricier side because they are, I guess, more classified as like art toys. But you can see they've done some homages, I guess you would say, to some Zords before. And then they've done, their bread and butter has been the 1/6 scale versions of these characters from the universe. And I have been tempted by them. I have had some of the 1/6 scale ones in a cart here or there, but I've just never pulled the trigger. So once they finally showed off some 1/12, I sort of jumped at the chance. Yeah,
very cool looking company and figures there. Definitely interested.
Yeah, I mean, and again, as a cyberpunk fan, sort of up your alley.
I'm sold. Yeah.
They did one. I'm gonna see if it's on the site still. A lot of the stuff, I mean, it sells out. They do, smaller print runs of these things, but they did one a while ago, which sort of came with like a bike from Akira. Like that that classic red motorcycle. It was like tweaked to fit more in line with what they're doing. They call it the Bullet Punk universe that they've set up.
Oh,
and they had one that was all in red. It came with the red bike, and I was close on that, but with the bike it was maybe like $250, $300. And I balked at it, and now it's gone into the ether.
And now it's going to be double the amount if you ever want to chase it again.
But there you go. The ones that we've highlighted anyway. There have been, trust me, there's been too many pre-orders and stuff this week, but I'm
truly losing track.
I'm trying to slow it down because like these it just keeps going. The stack keeps growing.
Yeah, people don't know this, but you actually have like 25-foot ceilings, and it's just all boxes
vaulted
right
ceilings, and it just teeters. If I bump into this, I could die. If this fell on me,
he's actually in his home gymnasium. It's a basketball court size, and that's the only space he has.
the only one keeping me like in check here is the My Pet Monster. He's just like
keep him shackled.
He's chained up, but nothing else can go stacking above him. He can't go up high. He's got to fear heights. He's like an under the bed kind of guy, you know.
Yeah, he talks a big game, but yeah, he's just a baby.
Well, Jeff, I mean, I think that about does it here for episode 2 of Cardback Cafe Fresh Brew. Any closing thoughts here? Anything jump out to you? Anything super excited about that we didn't get to, or things you're looking forward to in the coming weeks?
I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to Comic-Con coming up this year. It's more than a couple of weeks away, but just seeing what some of those announcements are going to be and kind of where some of these lines are going to go. Obviously, McFarlane Batman Forever, super, super psyched about that. I mean, again, just never thought we'd be living in a time where, we'd be getting full waves of these toys, all these years later with, updated articulation, sculpt, all that good stuff.
Yep.
So yeah, just a lot to be excited about. And again, a bunch of things cooking on the burners as far as pre-orders I'm ashamed. I'm just ashamed because, I'll get a bunch of these from Amazon and I'll archive the order just because I don't want to see how many are in there coming. So when they do kind of disperse and I get the email, it's like, oh yeah, okay. I forgot I got that. I'm like, that's cool. All right. So yeah, just always crazy with toys over here. You know how it goes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it is. It's a wild little ride that we're on, but there's no signs of getting off anytime soon. So, I'm sure, like I said, by the time we stop recording on this, new news is going to drop so quick. I mean, everything obviously always happens over the weekend. So when we touch base again, hopefully next week, there's probably going to be double the news. I mean, I didn't think, when we're writing out the show here as it is, and like we said last week, we're not covering every bit of news. We're dropping in the ones that we're interested in, because then at least we can talk about it with a bit of passion in it. Like, there's no point in us covering a new wave of, I don't know, where was I going with that? Sylvan Family,
right?
Whatever those little felt animals. Like, we're not going to cover a new wave of that or new Hot Wheels or whatever. But if there's a property or a line that we're really interested in, we're going to try to cover it as best as we can and touch base again. But so I just think as it ramps up to Comic-Con, it's just I thought it would be a slowdown, but it's actually a speed up. So like what you were saying, the stuff that they're holding for Comic-Con, I can't imagine what the sort of surprises that we're in store for.
Exactly, and we'll be doing our best to cover it. It's like they say, we didn't get off the train, we jumped in front of it. So that's kind of like what's happening. So,
well, all right, before we let everybody go, let's remind everybody where they can find us again over on Instagram, where you can find all the latest pictures from our collections. We're posing our figs, we're showing off our new gets, some of our purchases, pre-orders, and pickups before we even talk about them on the show here. So that is the Cardback Cafe over on Instagram. And look we'll even post, when we're dropping episodes. Look at these two guys, just happy to be back in the game. And then, of course, you're watching this over on our YouTube anyway, Kaiju Creative on YouTube. And if you can, we would really appreciate it if you subscribed, if you liked this video, drop a comment in, tell us what you liked about it, or tell us what you didn't like about it. How can we improve? Are we rambling too much, or are we not rambling enough? It's probably the latter, I think. Like, follow, subscribe, hit the bell notification for all those icons. But besides that, this has been another all-new episode of Cardback Cafe Fresh Brew. Jeff, thank you, as always, for taking some time out to talk some toys.
Yes, and thank you. Always good to take time to to digest everything that's going on in this world with someone we feel comfortable with talking about.
Yes. Helps us make sense of it all, at least, and talk ourselves into probably buying some stuff the second we stop recording.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I'm going on to Devil Toys. Here.
All right, everybody. Until next time, we will see you later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.